Hi guys, I'm Shmee, and good morning to you from a service station on the Autobahn. Now it's very, very early on a Sunday morning, and this is something I've wanted to do since I started spending significantly more time over here in Germany, which is take the McLaren, my 675LT Spider, for an almost top speed run, where safe, on the Autobahn. Obviously, Germany is famous for its de-restricted motorways, and if conditions allow, like today when it's dry, it's clear, and the sun has not quite risen yet because it's very early, like I said, on a Sunday morning when the roads are the emptiest they're going to be. Also, lorries and trucks are banned from driving on the motorways here in Germany on Sundays. So from midnight Saturday night until 10 p.m. on Sunday evening, you actually have Autobahns truck free. So if there was ever a better opportunity, it is today to take the McLaren and drive it, I guess, really rather fast. Now, on my way to the stop I'm at right now, I've only been driving probably 15 kilometers from Frankfurt, and I've actually already had 320 kilometers per hour on the dashboard, which, if that was the real speed, which it's not quite, would be something like 199 miles per hour. Now, obviously, there is a discrepancy between dashboard and GPS speed, so your actual speed, and I've got a speedometer on my phone on the dashboard so that we'll be able to see from the various cameras how quickly the car is going and how accurate the speedometer is at that speed. Now, in preparation for doing something like this, my car has actually been to the dealership, everything has been checked over, tyre pressures are suitably inflated, you take them significantly higher. So whereas normally I think you'd have maybe 2 bar and 2.2, right now they're 2.6 and 2.8, so significantly more pressure to withstand the higher speeds that we're going to be reaching. The top speed quoted of a 675LT Spider is 326 kilometers per hour, which is equivalent to 203 miles per hour. Now, I'm going to be doing this in kilometers an hour, but I'll write the conversions down below because we're in Germany, kilometers makes more sense. So 300 is a pretty easy target in a car like this. It gets there very, very quickly. Now, it has more downforce, obviously, than the standard car, which it impacts it at high speed. So a 650S and a 12C actually have higher top speeds than a 675LT because of the extra drag that comes from things like the wing, the end plates at the front, and those aspects. The Spider is also a touch taller than the Coupe, which lowers its top speed by 2 miles an hour, 4 kilometers an hour, just by virtue of extra drag from that tiny bit at the top of the roof section, which they actually paint black so that you can't see it, but that's what allows you to have the folding roof, which when you're somewhere like the south of France, makes for a pretty epic time. Anyway, I've talked a lot. Today is Vmax in the 675LT, if conditions allow. Let's head around, jump in. I'll show you how I've set all of this up. Key in my pocket. Lots of cameras on the car at the minute, but if I step right in here, I'm going to have my phone mounted up there. Oh, you can tell it's actually a little bit cold outside, which helps us today with the conditions. So, fired into life. We've got, well, half a tank of fuel or so. Like I said, with the pressures, they might be slightly down after having been sat, but I'm going to have that display open. Oh yes, we're down to 2.4 at the front, 2.6 at the back, but those will heat up pretty quickly when we're on the move. And then I have got a digital speedometer app here that we're going to be able to see as we're driving. So I'll just plug that in very quickly. There we go. So you should be able to see the difference between the car speed and the GPS speed. Now then, I think it's actually pretty much time to go, so I'll get the cameras rolling and we'll head out. Now, in terms of vehicle settings for maximum speed, we're in track and track mode, but no aero, because if you have aero, you'd have more downforce, again, more drag, which is not exactly what you want. I'm going to keep it automatic on the paddles. Maybe I'll manually downshift at some point, but I want it to auto upshift at the red line to get the maximum shift point. However, 7th gear in here is mostly geared for cruising, so it's probably going to be significantly more in 6th than in 7th. But a bit of a learning game. I'm in track mode, so stiffer suspension setup, and yeah, I'm intrigued to see what this car is capable of. This is why I love the Autobahn, straight out of a service station, and I'm in the 270s, 280s, 290s, 300 out of the service station. 121.9, I believe, is 200. So that was 200 miles an hour. Now, massive slowdown for the 120 limit. 200 miles per hour. 200 miles per hour in my car. I'm speechless. And it felt so calm and controlled. Honestly, so controlled. I'm not yanking at the steering wheel or feeling like anything's a worry or a risk. My gosh. It's quite noisy. Now, there we go. I think there was perhaps a touch more, but not much. To have a GPS speed of 322 in a car that claims a limit of 326, that's about as quick as I think we're gonna get out of this. Quite a lot of adrenaline doing that, I'm not gonna lie. Wow, 322 kilometers an hour. I like this car a lot. Until now, the fastest I'd been in a car was a 918 Spider at an indicated 325. Fastest I've driven, I should say. I've been passenger quicker. But the fastest I've driven in a car was, like I said, 325 indicated. So this is definitely faster. That's the quickest I've ever driven in my life, for sure, up to this point. In a passenger seat, I've been in a radar detected time on a runway of 225 miles per hour, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is 362 kilometers per hour, in a 9 Excellence 9EXX 996 Porsche Turbo. And now we have de-restricted again. And then I've also been in the Chiron on the Autobahn passenger seat at an indicated 363, so slightly slower. So the fastest I've ever been recorded for sure, 362. The fastest I've now ever driven myself in my car, recorded 322. So that's quite exciting. Anyway, we're on de-restricted. Let's find another multi-lane part of Autobahn and make the most of this morning. Back we go then. Now you have bits of the Autobahn that are 2 lanes, bits that are 3, some bits that are more. But obviously on a 2-lane stretch, you have to go really close to the cars you're passing, which doesn't exactly give much comfort, and especially if there's a huge speed differential. Now Germans are very, very good at lane discipline. They look behind and they tuck in. But if you spot a yellow number plate, that means a Brit or a Dutch person. And both of those you want to watch out for. And also, some of these other cars are driving at 250. They're not looking for a car coming behind them at 300. So there is a lot to think about. And I've done a fair bit of driving on the Autobahn. You get a vibe when might be a safe opportunity. Obviously, if you can leave lane gaps, that's better. If there are no cars, that's the best. Safety, you have to think about a lot, because it can go very wrong at that kind of speed. So definitely do not try this at home unless you know what you're doing. For sure, don't just come here and drive very, very quickly. I've done thousands upon thousands of miles in Germany, thinking about when's the opportunity to do this, and a clear morning like this, a route that I've pre-planned, that side of things. But I can't believe how fast this car is, really and truly. Now I've just got to find another open stretch, put my foot down again, do it in the opposite direction, because tailwind makes a huge, huge difference. And I think I had a slight tailwind in my first direction, from what I understood on having a look at the weather forecasts earlier, but just a couple of kilometers an hour. So this time we'd be driving into it, so we'll see. The first bit of good news is that we've got 4 lanes. 4 lanes is super perfect, as we just discovered, because there's a lot of room all around you. The bad news is that we have a low speed limit, and I want to get out of that. Although this could be the de-restricted signs in front of me, so we can start to drop some gears. This could be interesting. So 3rd gear at, well, 110 now, and go. 160, 200. It's ridiculous. Down to 200 is a massive amount of speed to shake off in a very short amount of time. I'm going to pull in and I'm going to brake hard. My brakes are, you have to think about that, because when you're braking from that speed, it's a lot of wear on the pads. But that was Vmax in the McLaren 675LT Spider on a Sunday morning in Germany, something I've always wanted to try, and it felt very safe doing it, which is a wonderful thing. I actually can't believe I've done that. I've literally, you wouldn't believe how many of these road trips and adventures I have wanted to plan, fitting in a top speed, like, run on a Sunday morning, just to enjoy an empty Autobahn. It's crazy. This car's so fast. So fast, my mind is boggled. Well, I could technically try that with the roof down, but I think it would be rather breezy and noisy. So I'm going to give that one a miss today, because I've driven 300-ish with the roof down in this car before, and it was pretty crazy. I can't imagine what 324 or thereabouts feels like. That number is just ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. It's over 200 miles an hour in a car that the top speed is 203. You could really genuinely get there, probably take out a little bit more fuel, make it a touch lighter, probably have a slightly lighter person in the car. You know, this thing, I think it's just over 1,300 kilos, so something like 1,320 kilos. So the weight of a person is actually semi-significant. Take off 10 kilos, take out another half a tank of fuel, you've taken out possibly nearly 50 kilos in total, which is probably going to be another mile an hour or two. Maybe you can do the tyres more, I'm not entirely sure. For what it's worth also, I didn't say, but these are actually brand new Pirelli Trofeo Rs. They went on, until today, they've done about 200 kilometres to bed them in, but completely new sticky rubber. The Trofeo Rs are super sticky, semi-slick track tyres, so as perfectly set up as they could be for this day. Like I said, literally everything has been prepared and planned, car through the dealer, checked, tyres, the whole lot, just to make sure it's as safe as possible. But isn't it incredible the ease with which you can do that in a car like this? I'm crazy about this car. It's done the Nürburgring, it's done Spa, it's done some fun stuff that you're going to see very soon on a runway. I'm looking forward to sharing that one. It's just absolutely mega. Flagship Shmeemobile without a doubt. And the story of my McLaren ownership, I think, from 12C, 650, 675LT Coupe, 675LT Spider, and the adventures we've been on and that you guys have joined me on too with these cars. This today, well, you know, I've done Spa laps as quick as I can, and now I've done a Vmax on the Autobahn as quickly as I can. And I know lots of you still to this day tell me that the wheels need to be stealth and go grey or black in colour, not silver. But I'm sorry guys, it's definitely not happening, because when you see this car in person, and quite a few people actually I think saw it as I was driving around a little bit at IAA here in Frankfurt, everybody always says that when you see it in person it just looks like something else compared to how you see it in the pictures and the videos. Just such a mega place. You know, really, really, really cool cabin, carbon tub. The bucket seats are so comfortable and supportive. I've done 1,000-kilometer journeys in here and not had a problem. You can store stuff back here. I sound like a walking advert for McLaren, but I'm just massively, massively keen on my car, which has no support from McLaren. It's my car, by the way. Anyway, this has been awesome, awesome fun. Like I said, something I've wanted to do for a while. It's only 7:30 in the morning now when I'm almost wrapping this up. And I'm going to jump back on the Autobahn to head back home, probably go back to bed, we shall see. Anyway, I'm going to try and upload it immediately, as I always do, where possible, so make sure you're subscribed for plenty more content in the future, with this car, with other cars, with test drives, with journeys, with events, with all sorts of stuff. And I'll catch up with you guys again very, very soon. Cheers!